Smooth. Talk to me, my boy. God dang it, son. We gave it our best shot. I don't like this any more than you do, but we ain't gonna make it, son. We're gonna hang it up. Wait, negatory. Look, you crazy or something? When we say we gonna do a job, we do a job. It's me they're after. They don't even know Smooth exists. Oh, they don't, do they? Well, I tell you what we're gonna do. We're just gonna introduce them to the boys and move over a little bit, good buddy, because the Smooth operators are coming through. Hot damn, we're gonna make it. All right, welcome to another episode of Smooth Operator Trucking. So, thank you for joining us today. So we're gonna be asking you a few questions. We're gonna try to figure out a little bit about you. All right, so first question. Tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are and where you're from. Well, my name is Niven Williams, and I was born in Kankakee, Illinois, and I'm originally from Chicago. Peterbilt or Kenworth? Peterbilt. Caterpillar or Cummins? Caterpillar. Automatic or manual? Manual all day long. Boobs or booty? Booty. So tell us a little bit about how you got into trucking. How did I get into trucking? Well, my dad's a truck driver, still is. Probably been trucking since like 1979, 1980. And I just remember, you know, realizing at a young age that he was a truck driver and wanting to be like my dad, and deciding that that's what I wanted to do. And I just kind of stuck with it. How old were you when you first drove a truck? Well, the first time I drove a truck, I was probably about 3 years old, somewhere in that time frame. And I remember it like it was yesterday. My dad had an old white GMC truck, and you know, he put me in his lap and let me, you know, steer the wheel a little bit. And from that day on, I was hooked. And like I said, even though I was only 3 years old, I remember it vividly like it was yesterday. The second part to that is when I was 17, at that time my dad had a 83 Peterbilt 362, and yeah, I you know, started the truck up and one day and took it for a spin around the block a couple times. I got caught, by the way, and my punishment was I had to grease all the fittings on the truck. Tell us a little bit about the history of your dad's truck that ultimately became yours. History of my dad's truck. Well, so he bought the truck in 1989, Peterbilt 362, and he drove it for about 10 years, and then he parked it, and it probably sat in his driveway for about another 10 years. And I want to say in 2008, 2009, he gave it to me, and I had the truck rebuilt cosmetically wise, just the exterior. Really didn't do anything to it maintenance wise or interior wise, but cosmetically had the truck redone down at Cannell Chrome Shop in Florence, South Carolina. And yeah, actually at one point the truck was on one of the episodes of this show that used to come on called American Trucker, so that was pretty cool. So tell us, where did you learn how to drive a truck? Where did I learn to drive a truck at? Well, I mean, that's a three-part question. I learned how to drive a truck, you know, from watching my dad many years. Second part to that is I joined the Army, and when I joined the Army, I was an 88 Mike, you know, which is, when I first came in the Army, I was an 88 Mike. And 88 Mike is pretty much just an Army truck driver. And so I learned a lot from being in that unit. I got fortunate enough that we were able to drive real trucks. And I say real trucks that were pretty much Freightliner FLDs that just had a camouflage paint job, you know. And so, you know, I attribute to my driving skills to a lot of the great people that I encountered while in that unit. You know, Dale, Reginald Williams, Dyson, Graves, Polly, Stick, Cotton, Pigeon, Sergeant First Class, or I don't know, man, if he retired as a First Sergeant, Sergeant Major Glover, First Sergeant Tilton, Lieutenant Salazar, Motley, Sergeant First Class Crider, aka the Truck Master. He always thought I was a little arrogant, but I actually looked up to him. You know, he probably never knew that, but I actually looked up to him. So yeah, I mean, too many names to mention, but I just learned a lot from being in that unit. Of course, we deployed to Iraq a couple of times, so you know, nothing beats that experience. So the saying, I can drive an ice cream truck through hell on the 4th of July, yeah, pretty much. Right on, right on. So tell me some of your funniest memories as an 88 Mike. One of my funniest moments as an 88 Mike. So when I first got to my unit, 594 Trans at Fort Campbell, back then we had BDUs and we had black boots. So I always kept my boots spit shine, and I kept my BDUs dry clean. I would take them to dry clean and get them pressed. All right. So one day I was picking up my my BDUs from the dry cleaners, and this, I don't know if he was a captain or if he was a major, and he walks in and he sees the patch on my shoulder, and he asks me what unit I'm in, and I tell him, and he's like, oh yeah, I know your commander. Well, at that time our commander was Captain Pacheco. I'm not sure if she's Puerto Rican or Dominican, whatever, but you know, she's very pretty. And he was like, yeah, I know your commander, Captain Pacheco. I was like, yes sir, that is my commander, Captain Pacheco. And he was like, yeah man, she's good friends with my wife, and man, let me tell you, that mother is fine. When she comes to the house and those summer dresses or maxi skirts or whatever, I have to tell my wife, baby, I'll see you later, I gotta go upstairs, I can't stay down here, I'm gonna get in trouble. And you know, on the inside I was cracking up, but on the outside I kept my composure, and I was like, yes sir, she is very pretty, you know. And if you know how the Army is, or how the military is, especially back then, it was just like awkward that he would say something like that to me, you know. And as a private, a very new private, you know, still like in basic training, you know, mindset, I was just like, oh man, what do I do? What do I say? You know. So, but that was just like really hilarious to me. It's pretty funny. So tell us how you got your CDL. Well, I got my CDL. So there's a few states that have a program where they will grandfather military personnel who have driven trucks in their military service. So what that does is like basically go to, like, Florida's one of them. So basically what I did was I went down to Florida, and all I had to do was take the written exam. All right, I didn't have to take the driving portion, or they call it the road test, and I didn't have to take the pre-trip inspection. All right, because basically you go, there's a waiver that you go online and sign. I think it's called the military CDL waiver. So if you just Google that, it'll come up and it'll tell you, you know, what states actually participate in this program, and it is actually pretty good. So if you're 88 Mike, you know, and you're thinking about getting out, or if you're going to stay in just to have that additional skill, you know, go ahead and look into that and see if the state that you're in is one of those states, and go ahead and get your CDL, man. I mean, it's easy to get. Nice. And you know, why not have that extra credential? Because as long as you have a CDL, a clean CDL, you always have a job. So why do you like trucking so much? What do I like about trucking? Man, I like everything about trucking. I mean, I love the challenge, I love traveling, I love being out there on the open road and making decisions and not having, you know, a boss, you know, saying, breathing down your neck. And I like trucks, you know, and I like driving. I just like seeing different places, you know. And so that's why I really like driving trucks. So what's in the future for you? Tell us a little bit about what do you have planned for the future? My future, well, in my future, so let me go back to my past. A few years ago, I started my own trucking LLC, and I leased under, I bought a truck and leased it under Landstar. And I didn't have the formal experience myself to drive the truck, so I put a driver in it, and you know, everything was working out pretty well. But then the engine needed to be rebuilt, and at that time I didn't have enough capital saved up to rebuild the engine myself. So that kind of, you know, set me back a little bit, and so, you know, some other things happened, but you know, I gained so much experience from that I learned a lot from my successes and from my failures. So I'll retire officially from the military this October, October 2021. And at that point, I will, you know, have the experience that I need to drive my own truck at Landstar, and then you know, so I'll go there and hopefully do great things and continue to learn about the business and grow, and hopefully buy a second, third, fourth, fifth truck, and just, you know, hopefully continue to grow a fleet of trucks. And you know, the sky's the limit. And so you know, we'll see what happens, you know. Right on. Wish you luck in that. So what advice would you have for any new drivers? My advice for new drivers. Is this right here. Be professional. Come in, learn everything you can learn. Be safe. Keep your CDL clean. The sky's the limit. Trucking is not for everyone, but just like any job and anything, it is what you make of it. So if you come into this with a positive mind and a goal, you know, maybe you just want to stay a company driver, which is fine. There's a lot of company drivers that make a lot of good money, and some that make more money than owner operators. You know, you find your niche, or you know, add endorsements to your CDL to make yourself more valuable, and you know, and put in the time and the work, and you can definitely find yourself making a lot of money in this business. And if you want to take it a step higher, become an owner operator on your own truck, you know, make sure you're keeping up with your expenses and knowing what your operating costs are, and run it like it is business. You know, whether you're an operator, if you decide to get your own authority, build a fleet, whatever it is. One thing about trucking is the sky is the limit. Like, there is no ceiling. You can go as far or as high as you want to, you know. So, you know, just keep that in mind, and don't be one of those flip-flop truckers. Like I said, be professional, and you know, just try to enjoy your job. You know, a wise man once told me, if you enjoy what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And I've been fortunate enough to enjoy my military career, and I've been fortunate enough to transition to doing trucking. So two things that I've both enjoyed thoroughly, and so I haven't worked a day in my life. Not really, anyways. Amen to that, brother. Well, thank you for your time today. Be safe out there on the road, and catch you on the other side. And thank you guys for tuning in. If you liked the video, hit that like button, and think about subscribing. And as always, stay smooth, my friends.